going to summer school. Summer school. Ooh, where the kids are cool.
I think the best movie that's come out this year was Drag Me to Hell.
Oh.
I'm a big Raimi fan, and that was ballsy for him as a director, who's making $300 million Spider-Man movies, to go back to his roots and make this balls to the wall
Which
horror
is
film.
better than the third Spider-Man episode, definitely.
Well, that's not saying much.
Not saying
Yeah, that's true, but better than any other movie I've seen this year. And there's a lot of great comic adaptations that are more new and more original comics, like not Spider-Man, not Superman, not Batman. Like Wanted was great last year. I thought it was great. Coming out soon, Scott Pilgrim. There's
that I really want to see.
There's also Surrogates, which looks great.
Yeah.
Was that a comic book?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Graphic novel.
We reviewed it on a Comic Book Orange like 3 years ago.
It's a good comic too.
Oh, cool.
I just watched The Crow, which is another great comic.
History of Violence, an Academy Award nominated screenplay.
Road to Perdition.
Road to Perdition. Yeah.
Speaking of comic books, right now Superman is not in any of the Superman titles, and Bruce Wayne is not in any of the Batman titles. Why have we abandoned our classic superheroes?
Because they've been done to death,
Okay.
and to the point of death, where Bruce Wayne is actually dead.
Well, he's not dead.
No, he's not. He's in a cave somewhere and
painting bats. Oh, and Captain America isn't in Captain America.
No, he's not.
No, he's back.
Well, he's coming back.
Yeah,
right now, he's frozen in time.
In any case, it's overkill, and they need to reboot that in the comics world. So they're trying new things, and that's basically what's happening. They tried a new Captain America. My boyfriend loves that Captain America, Bucky, and but for some reason they're like, nah, you know what? Let's bring Cap back. And it's like, seriously, guys.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how when you've got a character like Batman that's incredibly popular. He used to have two titles, basically, Batman, Detective Comics, and they decided that they needed more Batman, so they just launched more and more titles. Same with the X-Men, same with Superman. You just get these multiple titles where you're just burning up these characters, and it's, like you said, it's overkill. It's just too much, and then the desire is to find some new way to tell stories with these characters,
and there's great writers doing it.
Yeah.
Well, some of them, but
the weird thing is, as soon as they do, the counterswell comes. Like Captain America's coming back. Bruce Wayne is going to come back. Sure. Clark Kent is going to come back. Even I grew up with the new Green Lantern and the new Flash, and I loved it because it was like, here were these new guys.
You mean Wally West and Kyle Rayner?
Exactly. I'm about the only guy who loves Kyle Rayner as better than Hal Jordan, because I love the idea of here's this kid who suddenly has to sit at the table with Superman and Batman. And now those guys are gone, and they're bringing back the classic Flash and the classic Green Lantern.
By the way, the Green Lantern movie's going to kick ass.
Who's doing it?
Mark Campbell.
Guggenheim.
Oh, okay.
Mark Guggenheim's writing.
Oh, Mark Guggenheim's writing it. Oh, that's cool.
The script is good, too.
Oh, cool. Is it Sinestro?
It is. Sinestro's in it.
And now it's Hal Jordan, I'm assuming.
Yes.
I can live with that. But yeah, why is it that we can't, we either want to get rid of them or we want to bring them back?
Well, I don't actually know. I don't know enough about the how popularity is measured in the comic book world, or how responsive the comic book industry is.
Let's just say that the biggest titles sell 200,000 copies.
Right.
That's it.
Right. I'm saying
used
I don't.
To be, much more than that. Wasn't it in the 80s?
When they had the multiple foil covers.
Spawn 1 sold like 3.5 million copies when it first debuted.
I'm talking more about how much the publishers are saying, okay, week one out the gate, this didn't sell very much, go and change it. So I don't know how much of that is a function of, responding to data that might not have really had an opportunity to reflect what the public wants. Because I feel like that's definitely the case in film and television, where a television show that underperforms its first week out may not ever get another chance. And it has nothing to do with whatever market forces are at play, or what was happening with television or whatever.
Or worse, it gets fixed, which never fixes it.
And I feel like that's one of the there's this responsive this reactionary kind of responsiveness that says, okay, stop telling the story the way that it's worked. We've exhausted all of the wealth of human experience in our storytelling for Batman. We've told every story. Has Batman gone to Sumer yet? I mean, like that.
To where?
Sumer, the ancient civilization, Sumerians.
Well, he's in the Paleolithic era now.
But so I'm just saying, like, you know, that when you've exhausted the full range of human experience and history, then it's like, okay, like why don't we go kind of impressionistic and do Batman?
Well,
without Batman?
another thing that the big two are doing is everything is now event driven.
Right.
They have these. It's one event. You've got Final Crisis, which moves into the Blackest Night, which moves into whatever.
Yeah.
You've got Civil War, which turns into the
Dark Reign.
Dark Reign, and I think that rather than concentrate now on telling stories within individual books, everything becomes an event. And so when you get rid of Superman from all of his books, and you deal with New Krypton and all the what is it, 100,000 Kryptonians that showed up, you deal with that. When Superman comes back, you're creating these artificial events.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, Superman's back in his own book. Ooh, Captain America's
It's
back in
kind
his
of
own book.
difficult to read too because it's sometimes they're like, oh, you know, talking about something and then, oh, read issue number whatever of this other
Yeah.
comic
Yeah.
in order
Well,
to see this storyline continue. And it's
As
like,
much as I
seriously?
love,
Gee, thanks.
yeah, I like the new Batman and Robin where it's Dick Grayson, but it's hard for me to jump in with 2 feet because I know it's not permanent.
Right.
Sooner or later, they're going to be, hey, let's bring back Bruce Wayne. And that's the problem for me with
I
all
would
these
imagine
events.
this is all
They all
not
cancel
all
each other out. You know,
yeah.
they have the big game changer of this person dies and this person comes back. Well, 6 months from now, this person will come back and you know, nothing is permanent. Nobody stays dead.
One of my favorite runs, I don't know if you guys know or are familiar with Matt Wagner's run on Grendel. Did
Yeah.
you guys read The Dark Horse, Grendel? Grendel was, you know, he started out as this sort of young genius author, adventurer / criminal mastermind at night.
Sort of the anti-Batman.
He was the anti-Batman, actually, and they did a crossover
Yeah.
book. They did Grendel Batman. But what was interesting about that is they took the Grendel persona and they showed how it changed and altered with different people who carried the mantle of Grendel for 1,000 years, and what it did to society. And it was very interesting. It was a very interesting way of looking at
Which you
presenting
can
a
do
superhero.
independently create our own, but any of the big publishing houses,
Right.
as soon as circulation dips, they're going to be, well, let's go back to that first guy. You know, he's not really dead.
And now, I mean, you have to bring back, if you're going to make a Green Lantern movie, you have to kind of go back to the classic
They already brought
Green
back Hal
Lantern.
Jordan.
Right, well, they did, but I mean, you can never really get rid of Bruce Wayne if you've got Christopher Nolan making another Bruce Wayne Batman movie. Somehow, he's got to come back.
Well, isn't that why they brought back Cap?
Yeah,
Yeah.
For
I
the
think they were
movie?
always planning to, but I feel this Bucky guy. He got the shaft. Like, you know, he's been Captain America 3 months, and now it's like, hooray! It's this other guy. Go away.
Yeah, and then they're going to have to deal with in continuity, how there's going to be 2 guys running around with the Cap suit on, which has happened before.
Yeah.
Or like when Rhodey Rhodes became War Machine and Iron Man, and you have the Armor Wars and all. I mean, it's endless.
And on that note, well, I don't know. Are you going to read the new? Are you reading the new Superman-less Supermans and Bruce Wayne-less Batmans?
I have to say that I used to go to the comic book store every Wednesday. I mean, I still go pretty much every Wednesday. I just don't buy anything anymore. All I buy are buy all the collected hardcover books. I never read monthly books anymore because they're all. I'd much rather like buy.
The graphic novel.
Yeah, the omnibus. I love the Marvel omnibuses where they put both Ultimates 1 and Ultimates 2 in one big, thick
I agree.
hardcover.
I think they should just finish the entire thing and put it out.
Well,
Yeah.
why even have issues? Because it seems like half the comic book series now, you can tell they're writing for the trade. You are not
Right.
getting a full story in that issue.
No.
You're just getting the chunk that's going to be pages 15 to 25 in the trade. I mean, do we even need them? Scott Pilgrim has worked out very well just releasing trades every so often.
Well, I mean, I think that's a business model that's existed for so long, and there is still people who like comics, but obviously the declining sales. I mean, you could speak to this
Yeah,
more.
I'm wondering if it's just sort of running on its own momentum now and it's going to slowly
Yeah,
peter
because
out.
I think the tradition comes from, children using their pocket money to be able to buy these things, and also having that sustained kind of feeling
Yeah.
That's
over
not where
time.
we are anymore.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that never
there,
happens.
there are
Well-
boobs and vaginas in there now.
Well, the one successful
Oh,
thing,
yeah, dude.
the Marvel, they got the little mini Magna things. Those have been successful because kids buy them and
Right.
they
Oh, the
fit in their
diamonds,
backpacks.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, Dark Horse.
Yeah, you should read Herogasm.
Oh.
If you want to see boobs.
See, I just
And more.
You know, I
It was worse in the 80s. The cheesecake thing, the worst. I once saw this like comic that took place in the Holocaust, and like the women in the showers were drawn sort of cheesecakey. It was nauseating.
No.
That's hot.
Says the 50 woman.
I'm kidding.
There was actually like a Christian comic book I remember that I had when I was like in 4th grade, and her name, it was this like blonde girl with braids, and it was Hansi something of the Nazis, like Hansi minstrel of the Nazis. I don't remember what she was, like student of the Nazis, stewardess of the Nazis, or whatever. And it was very much like she becomes a Christian and all of that. But there was this feeling of like it felt wrong to be watching an illustrated, to be looking at an illustrated version of that and thinking of it in the same way that you would, a superhero comic.
Yeah. Although I used to read Omaha the Cat Dancer, and I always found that was about anthropomorphized cats and getting it on with bunnies, and I thought that was
Is this a secret furry?
No, it really isn't. But even
Should
though
we look for you a Comic-Con
even
in a
though
rabbit suit?
No, even though Omaha the Cat Dancer was a cat, a feline, she was hot.
Because I have a comic show, I have to
Just
I
makes
have
me
to try to
allergic thinking
broaden
about it.
everything. You know,
Okay.
like I wouldn't want to cover Superman every month, you know, and or Batman or whatever. And there's lots of different renditions, and I don't want to just go. I could probably do like a few months of just different Batman series, you know. But that's not what this is all about. This is about showing the broad range of comics that are out there, you know. If you want to go see a movie, you know, you choose, I want to see a horror movie or I want to see a comedy, you know, and that's what you should choose when you choose a comic book.
Oh, well, I mean, that's true. We still think of comic books as superheroes. I like Japan, the model, graphic literature. It can be anything.
I actually buy a lot more graphic novels that are not superhero oriented. I mean, the stuff I buy and the stuff that I get excited about, the artists that I like, are generally not in the Marvel and DC worlds at all.
You got one of the coolest. Mary bought this thing, the big outdoor fight. That book you have.
Yeah. That's that hardcover one.
That was.
Truthfully, I haven't actually read it. It's sitting on my coffee
Oh,
table. I like raccoons and stuff in it. Right?
Yes, I love it. It had nothing to do with superheroes, but it's an incredible. It's called something, The Big Outdoor Fight. And it's.
I'm sorry. I wish I could actually properly plug it.
We'll put it in our show
Me
notes.
too.
There was Pride of Baghdad from Brian.
That was great.
Oh, that was great,
great. DC put that out.
Yeah.
That's really good.
DC's always been better at like putting a few things out that
Although
that aren't
I saw a great
standard
one
superhero.
recently. They put out Marvel put out The Wonderful Wizard of Oz.
Oh, that
And
new.
illustrated by Scotty Young, and it's amazing. It's really amazing.
I mean, there's a lot. I think that there's like Black Hole, Ghost World. I mean, there's a lot of really interesting graphic novels. Mouse.
Yeah. Although 8 Ball, the last issue of 8 Ball, which is 3 years ago, was Daniel Close does a superhero comic book, which was great.
Right. Yep.
He gets superpowers when he smokes.
Well, Perry White had his super cigars in some Superman issues back in
that
the
the same
Silver
one?
Age. You get these cigars, and suddenly he
the
can
golden
fly.
age of red kryptonite.
And actually, the only superhero books that I really like are the ones that have a completely alternative take. You know, so Superman Red Sun was great.
Yeah, that was really good.
And J.M. Straczynski did a great, what was it?
Rising
Spider-Man,
Stars.
Rising Stars?
No.
Thor?
No. It had Hyperion in it.
Oh,
Squadron Supreme.
No, actually, before that, I think.
Well, no, Hyperion isn't.
Yeah,
Squadron Supreme.
he did the reboot of Squadron Supreme. I loved that was their version, Marvel's version of the JLA.
Yeah.
That was a great book.
It was whatever it was good before it jumped the shark.
Yeah, well, this is the problem with Straczynski's things. They're good until they're not good, and then you're like, what the hell happened?
Didn't he? You know what I can't stand? What they did in Spider-Man when was the Brand New Day storyline when Mephisto showed up and he's not married anymore, and they just wiped away all the Spider-Man continuity, kind of like what J.J. Abrams did with Star Trek.
Well, it's what I'm talking about. That's the problem with comic books. You get invested in where the story's going, and then they say, "Oh no, let's go back."
Comics are terrible.
I had read
there have been some very. As a matter of fact, I have to say, IDW has been publishing some really good Star Trek comics.
Oh, really? Which version? Classic or?
Oh, they did. They did it. They did an Assignment Earth about Gary Seven.
I saw that. Gary Seven.
That John Byrne did. That was really good. Yeah. And
they actually explained why the Romulans had all the tattoos on their face.
Yeah, they did a prequel comic.
Yeah, they did a prequel. Apparently, it's a what's it called? mourning ritual.
Yeah, they're mourning their dead planet.
If only they had explained that, so we weren't so confused.
I'm surprised they have a protocol what to do when your planet blows up. You get tattoos. Like, how does that develop? How many planets do you have to lose?